Hello, assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Maths Plus Much More. I am Arif Mohid, your presenter and teacher, live on channel 827 JTV every 2 weeks. And this is the show where you learn maths at home, but also learn other things besides maths at home and improve your results in school. Right, just before the break, you were asked at home to answer some questions, and let's see if you've answered any questions and see if we can take any calls. Do you have any calls on the line?
Hello, can I speak to Ali?
Yes, you're on the line. Hello, what's your name and where are you calling from? Hello?
I'm Umair and I'm calling from Essex.
Hello, Umair, all the way from Essex. Thank you for phoning. How are you doing today? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Brilliant. Which questions would you like to answer today?
I'm struggling on all of them, but number 2, I think I've got it.
Number 2, you've got it. Let's have a look. Let's go to the board. I'll see which pen works. There we go. Number 2, 18, split it up in the ratio 1 to 2. So, have you had a go at it?
I think it's 12 and 6.
12 and 6, you'll have a look. So if you've got, oops, so daisy, you've got 1 bucket and 2 buckets. So altogether you've got 3 buckets. What's 18 divided by 3, Umair?
1 minute. 18 divided by 3 is 6.
18 divided by 3 is 6. There we go. So altogether for this one you've got £6. Let's use a different colour pen. So £6 there. And for this one you've got 6 at 6 is 12. Yes, you are right. Excellent. So that's correct, Umair. It is 6 and 2.
I've got number 1.
Number 1, yeah, of course. Do you want to have a go?
8 and 4.
18 and 4.
8 and 4.
8 and 4. Have a think about that one. Have a think about it. I'll break it down for you a little bit more. Have a think about it. How many equal parts have you got? 16. How many parts have you got there?
4.
4. So what's 16 divided by 4? Come on, quickly.
4.
4. Brilliant. So you got 4 equal parts. So what's the final ratio? You got 4 there, and altogether how much have you got there?
4
and 4, 8, 12. Okay, so you got 4 and 12. So you're close. You said 8 and 12, but it's finally very close. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, right. Thank you very much for phoning, Umair. Continue watching, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye now. Thank you. All right. Do you have any more callers on the line waiting to be answering the questions? Even if it's taken some of your, if Umair has answered your questions, make sure you still call in because there's more questions that you can answer. So do you have any more callers on the line, Mr. Control Room? Hello? No, okay, we've got none at the moment, so keep on, try and call please. The number should be at the bottom of your screen very shortly. In 3, 2, 1, there we go. So it's 0161 883 0711, and it doesn't cost you much money. In fact, for a lot of people it would be free, so make sure you call the number. Right, okay, so what were we talking about before the start of the break?
Yeah, climb to Mount
Yeah,
Kilimanjaro.
yeah, on the much more part of the show today, we will be talking about my experience of climbing this mountain called Mount Kilimanjaro. Have you ever heard of it?
No. Yeah.
Yes and no, we've got mixed answers. So let's go on to the slideshow and I'll show you exactly what it is. So on the slideshow, on the PowerPoint, we've got Mount Kilimanjaro. So let's have a look at the PowerPoint. Thank you, not that one. It's the other one. So, not that one. Okay, that's the wrong one. So let's quickly close that one. Close that one, please. Thank you, Mr. Control Room. Okay, he's on the Okay, let's go back to the proper one that says Mount Kilimanjaro. There, not that one. Close that one too. my cameraman is not very good, as you can. Close that one. Close that one. Not that one. To the slideshow. Slideshow. Close it. Off.
We'll get there soon.
There we go. So I'm sorry about that. We've got a new recruit to the control room, and he's still learning. Hopefully. So anyway, we're talking about Mount Kilimanjaro. It's a mountain. Do you know whereabouts it is, by the way?
America?
It's in America, not in America. It's not in America.
Maybe Africa?
In Africa, yes, it is in Africa. and hopefully, I think they sorted the problem out. Let's see if you can go to the PowerPoint. There we go. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. Could you stay on the controls, in the control room, please? Right, okay. Mount Kilimanjaro 2010. I went there. It's actually in Africa, and I'll tell you exactly where it is. But the reason why I climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, there's two main reasons. One of the reasons is, since when I was very young, I always wanted to go on like adventures and do different things and do exciting and challenging things. But I've also had a problem, like I'd get tired really quickly. I'd get out of breath really quickly. And so I thought, I'm going to climb this mountain to help me, achieve one of my goals in life, to prove to myself that I can do something, right? So, but the main reason for climbing Mount Kilimanjaro was actually for charity. It was to raise money for children like this in Afghanistan that have had their legs and arms blown off through no fault of their own by landmines. You know, there's bombs on the floor, and they just walk over it, and there you go. There's their legs and arms blown off. And the money raised would go to provide prosthetic limbs, which is like artificial legs, to help them walk and so on. As you can see, there's one person trying to learn how to walk. Yeah, she's in a rehabilitation center, so she's got her legs and she's practicing to walk with them. Right, okay, so let's go back to, let's go to this one. Where is Mount Kilimanjaro? So Mount Kilimanjaro is, someone said Africa?
Yeah.
On the map, where do you think Africa is?
On the bottom half of the world.
Bottom half of the world, let's have a
In the
look.
middle.
Mount Kilimanjaro is in a place called Tanzania. It's very next to Kenya, and it's in Africa. And I'll give you a close-up zoom in. There we go. There's you'll see a little pyramid there. That's the mountain. So it's in Tanzania, right next to the border of Kenya. And it's known as the highest freestanding mountain in the world. Do you know what that means? The highest freestanding mountain in the world.
Yes.
Yeah? The highest freestanding mountain in the world means that it starts from the ground and it goes upwards, and it is, I'll give you a rough idea how tall it is. Do you know what Big Ben is? Have you ever seen Big Ben?
Yeah.
Right, so if you go back to the PowerPoint, it's like Big Ben is in London. In London you've got Big Ben, and if you imagine Big Ben, how many Big Bens can you fit on top of each other to make Mount Kilimanjaro?
I can't imagine, because it's really big.
5. I'll tell you, it is actually not one, not two, but it's 60 Big Bens on top of each other. That's how big Mount Kilimanjaro is. And it's actually nearly 20,000 feet, which is just under 6,000 meters. Now, that is quite big. It's above the clouds.
And you climbed all of it?
I went to the top, yeah. But before that, I need to do some preparation. So I had to practice a lot by walking to different like hills and mountains in England. So I went through, have you heard of Dove Stones? It's in England. Yeah, Dove Stones, Mount Snowdon, and so on. So if you look at the PowerPoint again, so this is me in Mount Snowdon, in Dove Stones. It's a really pretty place. And there's my t-shirt. You can see I'm looking very funny there. There's my t-shirt, so people sponsor me. And there's me at the edge of a cliff in Dove Stone. Don't know what on earth I was doing there.
Did you fall off?
It was very windy, and there's a beautiful view from that place. And then this is Mount Snowdon. Have you heard of Snowdon?
No.
It's the biggest. It's the biggest mountain in England. Okay, and there we go. But now I'm going to go to my climb. When I went to climb Mount Kilimanjaro, there was lots of different terrains we had to go through. So the first part of it, so it's a big 20,000 feet mountain, and the first part of it, initial phase, is that you go through a jungle. Okay, the jungle is got, like, normal wildlife in monkeys and other random animals, and you can't see the sky in the jungle because all the trees are covering it. As you walk up and up higher and higher, you come through what is known as moorlands or shrubs of different smaller plants. So the jungle disappears, and you get, if you look at the PowerPoint, you get little shrubs like this appearing. And now we're nearly above the clouds. As you go higher and higher, the shrubs, the plants disappear, and then you get deserts, a huge arid desert. And as you go even higher, it gets really cold, and you hit snow glaciers like this, so massive glaciers, and it can get up to minus 20 degrees Celsius, and then you reach the top. Here are some pictures. So the pictures on the pictures that you're about to see will be showing you the different treks, as the different trains I was going through. So let's have a look at this picture. On the screen now, you should get a picture of the rainforest or the jungle. There we go. So you go through the jungle. There's monkeys here too. Well, I think I've got a picture of a monkey. There you go. The backside of a monkey, not literally the backside, the back of the monkey, the back of the monkey. And it was quite a hairy one. I need to be careful now. Sorry everybody at home. It was hairy as in it had lots of fur on it. I'm going to stop talking. And then, so you go through different terrains. So the initial part is the rainforest. Then the next part is what you get. Let's have a look. So the jungle disappears and you get marshland. So you get lots of smaller trees and you can actually see the sky now. As you go further and further, you go through something called the alpine desert. So it's slowly beginning to turn into a desert. All the plants are disappearing. And as you go higher, there's me, hey. I look very tired there. I'm going higher and higher. And there's a random reptile there. What is that? Is that a caterpillar?
Can't tell.
You can't tell.
Probably a mixture, isn't it?
We have to eat that. Just joking. Don't worry, we didn't have to eat that. Right, okay. And then by day 3, I think, it took me about 5 days to go. By day 3, we were above the clouds. So the clouds were beneath us. You can look down and see the clouds. It's as though you can just grab them.
Does that mean you have to go prepared for every type of weather?
Every type of weather, yes. So we went from normal African climate. As you're going up, you get a bit of British climate. It starts to rain badly like it is doing today. As you go higher, you go through a big barrel desert. And then as you go higher, you go through the Arctic conditions, minus 20 degrees Celsius. That's freezing. I'll go back to the pictures now. So so these are the clouds, nearly above the clouds, and there we go. Can you see the clouds? Yeah? So as I go higher and higher and higher, and what's happening as I go higher, what do you think happens to the oxygen levels?
It drops.
It drops. It drops. Yeah, it becomes really difficult to breathe. You can't hardly breathe when there's so little oxygen. And so I was finding myself having to slow down, and I was getting really bad headaches because of altitude sickness.
Could you walk on the clouds?
No, I didn't try, but I wouldn't want to try just in case. So you get altitude sickness, and you know what altitude sickness is?
No. Yeah.
It's because your brain needs lots of oxygen to help it function, but as you reach higher and higher in altitude or height, you've got little oxygen, and your brain can't function properly, and you get headaches, and your heart begins to start pounding away really fast. And that's called altitude sickness.
Is that not quite dangerous?
It is dangerous, and in fact, a lot of people had to be taken off the mountain because it was so dangerous for them, and they couldn't make it to the top. You start vomiting, you pass out sometimes. I had somebody who went with me, he just lay there, he was passed out, and he didn't even realize he was passed out for about 4 or 5 hours until I made it to the top, and as I was coming down, I see him just lying there. So we had to nudge him and wake him up. So that's how it is. Altitude sickness is quite severe. Anyway.